Hello everyone. So today's video is, as you can see by the title, Bluey's house. So if you're familiar with the kids show Bluey, this is my attempt at creating a Bluey inspired house. So the house on the outside is more supposed to be more accurate based on the picture that they show at the beginning of basically every episode of the outside of the house. And the inside of the house, I started off trying to make it accurate to the actual show, and I quickly realized after some research that that was going to be impossible. So, on that note, it is instead inspired by Bluey and not exactly 100% accurate. So here I am trying to do the terrain editing. As you know, if you've seen any of my videos before, I'm not very good at terrain tools, so the first couple minutes is me struggling to build the hill on which the house will sit. So enjoy me trying to figure out how to get that to look kind of realistic. And then I realized that I made this hill in the house, excuse me, a little too big. So if I cough or anything during this video, I just did a really hard workout earlier today on the track. So I am still a little bit, you know, I don't want to say coffee because it just sounds like coffee as in a drink, but I still have a little bit of like phlegm in like my throat, kind of, however you want to describe that. I ended up doing 2 mile repeats, so on the track. So if you are a runner, I had a fun time doing that. And yeah. Anyways, so here we go, building the outside of the house. And I had a little photo reference that I mentioned before, of like the picture they show you at the beginning of most of the Bluey videos of the outside of the house. So I used that as my photo reference for the outside to try to make it as realistic as possible. And I tried to find fencing and different details that looked the closest to how the house would actually look. So here I am trying to center it and figure out exactly where I wanted it on top of the hill. I like the idea of having the stairs 2 tiles wide instead of just one, even though in the picture it technically would most likely be a 1 tile wide staircase. So here I am trying to find the foundation that fits the best. I ended up deciding on that one. So here we go, putting on the second floor. So because of how the roof line is, I have to add an additional second floor before I can add the roof piece. And it looks kind of silly because I can't have like, yeah, as you can see, I tried to do like a second floor on like the one side, but it doesn't quite work. I can't do like a room underneath the roof, so to speak. So that makes it a little bit complicated. So this was as close as I could get. And while I was looking online, I found different pictures and different people that had done their own ideas and renditions of this. So it's definitely, I'm not the first person to do this. And I did take some inspiration from what I found online. But this was my type of best attempt at creating the house. So as per usual, I always have a joke. So today's really bad, corny dad joke is, what sports event do cats watch on a Sunday in February? So as I'm recording this, this sports event is actually going on tonight. I'm not a huge fan of this sports event. I watch a lot of sports for my college major, so I kind of get my sports fill through my internships and things like that. So I don't necessarily watch a lot of professional sports, minus like running, or if there's like professional gymnastics on, sometimes I'll watch that. Of course, like track and stuff like that. I'm interested in watching, but anyways, I thought this joke was pretty fitting. Although this video will probably not go live until sometime in March or later, um, I thought that it was a fitting joke for this time of year, considering of when I was videotaping it for the first time. So here I am trying to look through some more windows and doors to try to see what would fit the best with the external image I have of Bluey's house. And originally I put this green door, but it didn't really look great on The Sims. So we'll come back to that in a second. But this is what we have so far. So during this part, you could see for a minute there, I was paused, probably looking at some of my reference images to try to make the house look as realistic as possible. So as always, this house will go live on the gallery after posting this video. So once this video goes live on YouTube, you'll be able to download this house from my gallery account, which is KillyCat4. And you'll be able to find this on there by searching Bluey's house. It'll probably also be highlighted or featured on my account since it'll be a most recently posted video. And you can find lots of other builds too. And as of me recording this, I've already made Bluey's family inspired Sims. So the week after I post this video, that video will go live. And I will probably go back after that video uploads and add a little title card around this point to show you where you can find that video. So let me make a mental note to myself for later. But yeah, so once this video goes live, you'll be able to find the house, and then a week after that, I'll post the video of how I made Bluey's family as Sims, inspired by the characters from the show. And then I will include title cards in both videos referencing both, so that way you can easily find either one. But yeah, so here I am adjusting the fences, trying to make the yard a little bit smaller, because I think I kind of went overboard when I first laid it out. So here I am doing lots of extra fencing maneuvers to get it all figured out. And I realize that the house is really far away from the road, but as of that picture that is referenced, the house is the end of the cul-de-sac in Bluey, and it's kind of far away from the road and kind of up on a hill, so I didn't want to make it too abrupt and steep. Alright, so at this point we're pretty much done with the outside of the house, minus the, deck, which was harder to find pictures of or clips or any kind of stuff after, searching online to make it more accurate. So I tried my best. I tried to do what seemed like I saw based on different clips I could find and screenshots I could find online from the show itself. So I tried my best, and in that search to find what the house looks like on the outside, the inside, and the deck and everything, I stumbled upon a lot of Reddits of people trying to figure out the layout of the house. Excuse me, and I realized through that it's kind of impossible to put the Bluey house together because apparently some of it is one way, and then for the sake of editing or the sake of making the episode easier to make, they'll just stick rooms together that is convenient at the time for the episode, which makes it literally impossible to try to build because there is no real rhyme or reason to how the house is constructed, and it could change multiple times between episodes. So yeah. I went into this thinking I was going to find a floor plan, or maybe someone had come up with a floor plan or figured it out from watching the show, or I could try to piece it together. And that is just not it at all, based on how the house basically changes ever so often through episodes and throughout the seasons of the show. So, again, like I said, this is my best attempt. And based on what I could find online of other people trying to piece the house plan together or pictures I could find online, I just tried to make it inspired and fit in rooms and design the rooms inside to match photo references that I could find a lot of online. So, the kitchen and the office and the playroom and Bluey and Bingo's bedrooms and their parents' bedrooms and things like that. I tried to make those rooms at least look somewhat like the actual show. So here I am again. It looks like I was referencing some more pictures and stuff. As you could saw that I paused a little bit back there. And here again, probably trying to reference some material. When I was looking for some of these floor plans online, like I mentioned, I also found out that there's actually a real Bluey house. I assume it's in Australia, and I watched part of the YouTube video. You can actually find it on YouTube. I don't know if it's an Airbnb or it might be an Airbnb, but there's a house that you can actually visit and rent that's inspired by the Bluey houses. Pretty cool, in my opinion. It looks really cool, so I watched part of the video, and it seems pretty accurate. And the outside looks really, really cool. So they had a lot of fun making it, and they even made which obviously I can't do this on The Sims, but they made Polly Puppy and some of the other characters and toys that recreate throughout the show, and so that was super cute. So if you really like Bluey, I recommend watching that because that was a cute video too. So here we go, more things from the outside. I've got the little like woodworking shed thing. That was the closest thing I could find on The Sims to kind of represent the shed from the one episode where they played like hide and seek in different games towards the beginning of season one. And we've got the grill and the little benches and stuff. And I put a little bike out there too. I imagine that they would enjoy something like that, and a soccer ball, but not a football because they would not probably be playing American football since it is an Australian based show. So here we go on the inside, finding out some more doorways and trying to figure out where on earth to put the playroom. I kind of ran into a couple issues after because I was really going to put the playroom there. And, like that was going to be the intro, and I was going to do that wall that you see. But then that kind of just took up more space in the house. And that's where things started to get complicated. And I kind of realized I wasn't going to be able to make it like super, super factual. So after that, I kind of kind of gave up on making it accurate. And I ended up doing the stairs at least in this pattern here, like a little L-shaped stairs. Did a couple of tries, and I can't do like built-in bookshelves or anything like that underneath the stairs like they could in Bluey, so I had to work around that and just kind of do the best that I could. Here we go again, trying to find some more doors to match the inside of the house. And then I decided to try to move the stairs, but the upstairs is only so large because it doesn't incorporate the area where the bump out is because of the roofing restrictions that I talked about earlier in this build, so I can only move the stairs so far. Alrighty, so since there is no kiwi rug or watermelon rug like later in Bluey and Bingo's bedroom, I tried to use rugs that just kind of looked like it. So I thought that this little rug that you can't see right now because of how I have the house angled, but you hopefully will be able to see in a minute when I move the orientation of the house with little flowers and stuff, I thought that that looked the closest and the best that I could. As you could see there, that jump cut, I had to do some more research to try to figure out how to put things, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I was gonna put the living room there, but then there's not enough space for the living room because that's where the like kids' room is supposed to be. So then I ended up making this little back room, the playroom, instead, even though it's more open in the actual Bluey house. So then I had to bump out the deck and I bumped out the little playroom and stuff to make it fit better. So here I am just moving a couple things, checking up to make sure it kind of works. And so now that room's going to be the playroom, and I'm going to make the other room where I originally had the little rug more of like a living room or like a sitting room. So here I am looking for some green pinstripe walls, which I decided that this was the closest thing I could find. So I went with that. It looked really dark, so I was trying to figure out ways to kind of maybe brighten up the space. Looking for some rugs as per usual. A lot of these I went through and searched for via color to see if there were any design options that look similar, which honestly I think that that rug looked pretty similar to the one in the reference photo I was using from one of the bedrooms, not the bedrooms, excuse me, one of the rooms in the house. Took me a minute there to realize that that was just the ottoman and not like the elongated version of that chair. And then I realized that I had to like move it around too. All right, so we're looking for the bookshelf, trying to see what I could do, and I really, really, really wanted this to face the other way. So I really wanted that underneath the stairs because I feel like that would have looked the best, but it was facing the wrong way. So I was not too happy about that because that would have been perfect, but oh well. So I set it on the other one, and here I am moving around the orientation again of the chairs. I would have loved the rug to be a little bit bigger, but then it was just the size of the entire like first floor, and that's like a bit excessive. You know, you just don't have a rug that covers like your entire first floor. Okay, so here's what I decided for the flooring and just touching up some pieces of the half walls that I decided to use. Looks like I'm doing more research and just kind of looking to see what I'm thinking so far on what I have. So I'm gonna end up putting the kitchen next to the stairs on the other side, even though I believe in Bluey's actual house, the kitchen appears to be on the second floor, which I find particularly interesting because I don't know anyone with a kitchen on the second floor, to be honest. Maybe that's just an American thing. But yeah, so here we go with the white cabinets. I wanted something with a darker wood tone countertop, but I couldn't quite find what I was looking for, and I thought these matched the closest, so, you gotta go with it. We got our stove, putting up some more windows. Those windows don't necessarily match with the house, but they match the front door, so I wanted the windows at least to match the front door. But yeah, so if you've seen Bluey and you're a big Bluey fan, what do you think so far of this house? Do you think that it's kind of accurate in being inspired by Bluey, or what would you have done differently? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think, or maybe comment your favorite Bluey episode. Um, Honestly, it's a kids show, but it's so cute and it's so wholesome. And even as an adult, I find it particularly interesting and not absolutely mind numbing to watch, like Coco Melon and some of the other shows that are marketed to kids. Even as an adult, if you had to watch them with a kid, it's not like the worst experience of your life. It's kind of sweet, it's wholesome, and it's just all around cute. Like the Bob Bilby episode, my heart. Bob Bilby is so cute. I literally have a Bob Bilby sticker on my computer now. $3 on Etsy. Etsy is wonderful. Love Etsy. Um, I like squirrels, as I've mentioned before, and squirrels aren't really a hot ticket item. It's not like people just make squirrel merchandise. So I find that Etsy is the best place to go for squirrel themed items because there are people making stuff that's a little bit odd, a little bit off the beaten path, and you can find stuff for niche interests like squirrels better on Etsy. So I like to find a lot of stuff on there. I can find some really, really cute pins as well because I collect pins for my pin jacket. And I found some really cool squirrel pins and cat pins and Sims pins actually. I have a Plum Bob pin I have on my jacket, and I think it's super cute. Got that on Etsy. Um, I have a Zoomies pin, so someone who has cats and someone who's, if you have cats, you probably can also relate to the fact of sometimes your cats get zoomies and all of a sudden they were just doing nothing. And then they're like literally on the ceiling and like running around and they look like something has just happened to them and it's just absolutely the worst thing ever and they're trying to run away, but nothing has changed. It's just the zoomies. But yeah, so I have a pin of a cat like mid run and it says zoomies on it. Super cute. That one's adorable. I love that too. I've had really good experience with a lot of different sellers on Etsy. I think I've only really had a bad experience with one seller on Etsy, and that was for a gift for someone else. And I guess I should have read the other reviews more in depth. But yeah, overall, I find it very cute, and I can find a lot of super adorable stuff on there. Anyways, there's the playroom. So while I was talking about Etsy and going on about squirrel themed items, we finished up the playroom and I put a little activity table in there, which you can't see because now we're already moving on to the office. So yes, I know that technically I would think that Bandit's office would be on the second floor, but I wasn't really sure what to do with that space and I didn't want to just shove a kitchen table there because I could always put that closer to the door since I don't feel like the dining space in Bluey is referenced as often as the office. So I decided to make the little corner room there the office. So I had to find, the little suitcases and the oldish furniture and the like archaeologist decor and specialty items that I feel that would best represent Bandit's office. So I found some stuff from Get Famous and threw that in there. And I thought it turned out pretty good. So here I am looking for some more things. If you've been paying attention and watching some of my videos, you may have just noticed that I have placed one of the little llama guys from Dream Home Decorator. That's a fun game for you if you want to go back and try to watch my videos. Try to find where I placed the llama. 9 times out of 10, I will place that little llama somewhere in one of my builds. Not always, but most of the time I will. So here I am looking for the perfect purple color. I couldn't really find it. It wasn't that, it should really be a little bit more reddish than that color, but that was the closest I could find. So we settled with that. Here I am looking for some plants to finish off the look. And overall, I think Bandit's office turned out really good. Here I am looking for some dining tables. It wasn't a super big area, but I wanted to try to make it work. Trying to find chairs that matched was a little bit of an issue because I really wanted the fabric of that other chair that I had from, what was it, Country Living or Cottage Living? There we go, Cottage Living. But I didn't necessarily like that it didn't match the wood tone of the table, so here I am going back to it again. I just really wanted to use those chairs. Looking for some more details and clutter items, I had to go for a dog statue considering the healers live there. Alright, so I'm looking for some cute little pictures, things that I think would represent like the little home and family pictures that they have on the walls in the house, so I settled with some little plants and cute little art pieces. I wanted to use that, but I thought that it was just too fancy, so I got rid of it. I thought that that matched better instead. So there's the living room. Looking for some hobby activities. All right, on to the second floor. So the second floor is really small, and I need to at least fit the master bedroom, a bathroom, because at this point I realized I forgot to put a bathroom on the first floor, which is highly unfortunate. And I had to do some practice runs to figure out this floor plan because of how small it was. So I needed to have a bathroom because I neglected that on the first floor. And come to think of it, I don't know if I put a trash can in this house. Again, I'm very sorry. I know there's one outside, so at least you're kind of covered. That's just a long walk for your Sims. Unless you want to drag and drop, which is honestly easier. But anyways, back to what I was saying. We need to have Bingo and Bluey's bedroom, and Chili and Bandit's bedroom, and the bathroom. So limited space, and we've got to have at least 3 rooms. Originally, I had the bedroom set up like this for the master, and I was trying to find a bed that best represented the master bedroom, and I kind of ended up settling on this bed here. I wanted to have the fan. Since I don't use those super often, there was definitely one depicted in the bedroom. However, after putting the furniture this way, I liked how it was going. But then I started to think about the window situation, so I ended up moving it because I was basing this off of a photo reference. So I ended up moving that around. Trying to find what window to use here. There we go. Because I didn't want the window to be visible from the front of the house because then it would change the outside look. But I still wanted to have the open window slash balcony, French balcony type of deal. So kind of a weird layout with that shape up there with the doors. So I copied those doors in. Move some stuff around. Trying to put the finishing touches on the bedroom here. Had to go for the dog portrait again. I wish there was a lighter color because I didn't want to go such deep pink, but then it was kind of too light, so I just settled with the deep pink and went with that, put in some little plants, and for the most part, the master was done. So as we're nearing the end of the video and I try to find the little stained glass window that fits the best for Bingo and Bluey's bedroom, I think it's time to talk about the answer to today's joke. So today's joke was, what sports event do cats watch on a Sunday in February? So the answer to that is the Super Bowl. So as we speak, the Super Bowl is going on tonight. So I have no idea who's going to win. And frankly, I don't know if I'll watch. I may tune in for the halftime show and I'll probably look up the results later, but just not high on my list of things to do tonight. But anyways, by the time this posts anyways, we will all know the results of the Super Bowl. But I thought the joke was fitting for the time of me recording this. But yeah, as per usual, this video, like I mentioned before, will be available on the gallery after it has been posted to YouTube. And you'll be able to find lots of other cool builds that I post on my gallery account. As we get back to the bedroom, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do the rugs because there was no cute little watermelon rug to use or anything particularly close to the watermelon rug. I did totally love that we had these like the canopy lights, because I thought that was absolutely perfect for the room. A little bit bright, so it kind of washes out the room. But I guess you could turn them off or one of them off. But I thought it was too perfect, I couldn't get rid of. I wish I could have included a regular sized bed, but based on the size of the room, unless I put the bed in a different orientation, it wouldn't have worked. So I put in a toddler bed instead. However, when I made the Sims, I made both Bingo and Bluey kids. So I guess if you want to play with the Bluey and Healer family that I made in the Sims, you could always age Bingo down and play with her as a toddler, or change the door placement to be on the two sides of that like pointed pentagon weird shape. I think it would still work, but I didn't play test it. You could do that and put in a regular size bed, or you could just start with Bingo being a toddler and go from there. Adding in the finishing touches, because at this point all that's left after this room is the bathroom. I kept trying to fix, like I mentioned before, how washed out the canopy lights made the room, but eventually I just gave up. So if you can figure out how to fix that, do let me know. I'm assuming it's just because there's so many lights in the area. So I guess if you turn one of them off while you're playing after placing this house, it would kind of solve your problem. But if you have another solution to that, let me know. Alrighty, here's the bathroom. I wanted to use the tub since there is a tub and a shower depicted in the reference photo of the bathroom that I was using, but there wasn't really enough space, so I just decided on the shower. I wanted to use that high school years tile because I thought it was really pretty, but it didn't quite have, like, the gray swatch just wasn't dark enough because it's like a black colored and white flooring that was used. So here is a look at our upstairs in the Healer home. And as we venture downstairs, you can see the kitchen, the dining room, the living room, the office up there on the left side, and here is the outside. And I almost forgot to fill in the sand pit, so here is me filling in the sand pit. I would love to close it in, but I don't know if it would let the Sims walk inside, so I left that one side open. Alrighty, thanks for watching.